Before we start, would you like to introduce yourself and explain what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Tom. I'm from Notts County Talks YouTube channel. So it's me and about 5 or 6 other Notts fans. We do a weekly podcast on a Thursday night, 7:30. It's live on YouTube. Get about 200 people watching, interacting, talking about the previous game, talking about what's happening in the next game, any transfers, any big news that's happened at the club. Then on a Saturday or a Tuesday, depending on when there's a game, we'll do some post-match reaction. Sometimes have a match day vlog. We have other things like prediction videos, giveaways, and just try and bring the Notts community together because we were in non-league a few years ago and the local paper dropped us. So we decided to start our own podcast, and it's kind of spiraled since then. 5,000 subscribers the other day, so we're doing pretty well.
Being a Notts County fan such as yourself, could you remember your first initial reaction when Notts County got relegated back in 2019?
Yeah, I was at a meeting at the bank getting a mortgage for my first house. My mate messaged me saying, it's the final game of the season, I've got that spare ticket, do you want to go? So he picked me up. We were away at Swindon. I had to leave the meeting early. He picked me up outside bank in town. We drove to Swindon. It should have taken 2.5 hours. We got there in an hour and a half. Pulled up, 15 minutes late to the game, ran into the ground. I think we took the lead at one point. I think we went 1-0 up, and Macclesfield started to lose their game, so we were staying up, and we'd never obviously been relegated ever from the Football League because we were like one of the founder members.
Yeah.
And then like an hour later, we were 3-1 down. Macclesfield were winning their game. The Swindon fans were singing that we were going down. And for like the last 20 minutes, we knew we were relegated. I remember it. It was gutting, but actually kind of exciting because, I mean, for years, we spent years at the bottom of League Two, and it gets repetitive, and there's only so long you can survive. So I enjoyed non-league. I thought non-league was quite good. I was glad to get out of it, but for a few years, it was good. So I was gutted, but it was nice going in there knowing you're going to be probably the biggest team in non-league for a few years, and like you're almost like the Man City or Arsenal of non-league football. So it was good.
Around July 2019, Notts County had a takeover where they saw the Danish brothers Alex and Chris take over from the club from Alan. Do you reckon they played a part in Notts County's successful journey?
Yeah, I mean, I remember being at work, checking my phone like every hour or so, because at one point under Alan Hardy, it looked like we were going to get like wound up. The club was going to be done, which would have been incredible for a club as old as Notts, the oldest professional club in the world, to have no club anymore and be effectively relegated to the bottom of the pyramid again. So they came in and saved us. They definitely saved us. And what we needed, because the owner at the previous time tried his best but ran us into the ground basically, was some stability. You don't really hear from the Reeds brothers at all. They put maybe 2 statements out a year, a start of season and like a January, well, 3. They put an end of season statement out. They stay in the background. They've just written off a massive £10 million debt to the club that we owed. They don't sign players that are too expensive. They don't risk it, which at times can be bad. I feel like if we'd have risked it this year, we've already spoken about playoffs, I'd say we'd actually got automatic promotion if they'd have risked it, but they didn't. And it is sensible, because if they risked it and we didn't go up, we're back in financial trouble. So I like that. They've built the nest, which attaches to the ground, which is incredible. At the point of filming, Forest played Porto in the Europa League. All the Porto fans filled the nest. They drank, they ate food, and Notts got so much money from not even having a game there. We literally just get the away fans in. If Forest play Man U, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, away fans fill that nest. We make millions a year off that. So that's good. They've added paddle courts to the stadium, which is like was the first paddle courts in the country. I don't know how much you know about paddle, but it's a massive up and coming sport now. Yeah. That's full all the time. Like they're doing so many good things. So it's frustrating, but they're doing things a sensible way. And the way football goes at the minute, and so many clubs in debt, you've got to say if they're doing it the sensible way, I'd rather maybe 1 or 2 years in League Two longer than I would like. But I've got a football club, so yeah, they're massive. They did save the club.
It seemed like it has paid off. Speaking of success, it was around June 22 where a new manager, Luke Williams, came into the club and got Notts County promoted back up into the professional division in his first season. How much impact has he provided in this journey for them?
Best season I've ever had in my life supporting the club. Best manager I've ever seen support the club. Best team I've ever seen in terms of level. I could reel off a million things. Longest unbeaten run in the club's history. Most goals scored in a season in the club's history, 117. Most points gained in the club's history. And we decided to be that good the same season Wrexham got incredibly rich.
That
So
was a
we still
crazy season as well because both teams were literally on 100 points.
yeah, we finished second. Like we didn't even get automatic promotion, and we had the best season of that. We had a goal. We had a striker that scored 42 goals.
That was crazy.
Insane. Yeah, it was insane. Like, but it was the best season. And then we went in the playoffs. And everyone was saying it's how unfair it is that only one team goes up from the National League. So we went in the playoffs. We finished like 25 points above the team below us.
Yeah.
And then the team that finished in the bottom playoff place, we were like 35 points above. Going to the playoffs, first game, 2-0 down at half time. You can't believe we've had that season. Like, just you can't believe it. And then we scored straight after half time, and then we scored the equaliser in the 95th minute, and then we scored in the 120th minute to win the game. Went to Wembley, losing straight away, scored with about 5 minutes to go, and then won on penalties. Like subbed a 18-year-old goalkeeper on because he was good at saving penalties, and he saved 2 penalties. All these things Luke Williams masterminded.
Yeah.
When we were desperate for a goal in the semi-final, he told everyone to stop panicking, just pass the ball, whereas most teams just lump it in the box. He told them pass the ball. We were still passing the ball around at the back with about 30 seconds to go. Like, he was incredible. He had crazy intensity, and he was that good. I mean, he went from us straight to Swansea. He jumped up 2 divisions. Didn't quite work out at Swansea, but the guy was like, the football was incredible. And then we got promoted. He came back to Nottingham with the players, went on a night out with the fans. Like, the fans loved him. He was one of the fans. I think he'll be back one day. I think he'll come back as manager, but probably when you ask how instrumental he was, best manager in my life so far, and I'm 30, so that says quite a lot.
Hopefully he'll be back one day.
I hope so. I do hope he is. I really hope he is.
Back to focusing on the journey of Notts County, spending 4 seasons. Could you tell the difference maybe of what it was like in non-league compared to the EFL?
Yeah, you can tell on and off the pitch. On and off the pitch, definitely. On the pitch, we've not been good defensively for years. And if you give a chance up in National League, in the non-league, they might need 3 or 4 chances to score. Like, if you make a mistake in League Two, they score straight away. Like, that happens all the time. The players are stronger, quicker. They're just more. They're very, very physical players. Whereas non-league, yeah, there were some good players, but they were like either just starting their career and they were about to head up the pyramid to like League Two, League One, or they were at the end of their career and like had lost their pace or something. Off the pitch, I remember going to some grounds and it was like, I went to Maidenhead away, and it was pouring with rain, and the only thing they had was a gazebo full of mould, and I was like stood under this. There was no food or drink, and I'm thinking 2 or 3 years ago, I was at like League Two grounds that actually had decent facilities. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but the difference, even from League Two to non-league, is huge. There's like 2 or 3 teams in non-league that, like Wrexham when we were in there, Chesterfield, that were basically League Two clubs that had been relegated. But you had places where you'd go on a Tuesday night and all the lads, all 4 of us would head there, and you'd be like, "Can we have a drink?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, we've run out of drinks." And like it was just not what you expect from a club that had been professional. It was fun.
Yeah.
But 4 years of it's a long time. Like, a long time to be going all over the country to these kind of grounds. But I enjoy watching it. I also enjoy watching it. Like, York, at the time of filming this, York and Rochdale are about to play each other on the final game of the season. It's exactly the same as what Notts and Wrexham had, both teams over 100 points. So it throws up some really good matches, but I'd much rather be in League Two.
Looking back on this journey, when did you first feel like that Notts County was heading in the right direction into sort of gaining promotion once again?
I It's difficult because, like I said, we've had six playoffs in 7 years, and we've only won one. Like the first year, we were catching up with Barrow, who were top of the league. Like we were really catching up. We went there and won 2-1, and then next weekend they cancelled the league because of COVID. Like we would definitely have won the league, and it was cancelled. So then we stayed in non-league. Then you play again. We got to the final of the playoffs, lost. Year after, got to the semi-final of the playoffs, lost. Year after, we got to the quarter-final of the playoffs because they have an extra playoff in the non-league, lost. So like we weren't doing anything wrong because we were getting playoffs every year. So I think the year we got Luke Williams was the year because we started to spend some money. Like we bought Langstaff, who now plays for Millwall, who could even get to the Prem, and he scored 42 goals. Like, we actually started to spend a bit of money. We signed John Bostock, who'd been like championship level player. Like we had a really, really good team. So that year we got promoted, I think I realised like we were serious. But since the owners have been in, the Reach brothers, we've never had a bad. We've had a mid-table season in League Two.
Yeah.
That was the first year back in League Two, so you can't really complain. Like we were top of the league in November, and we just got promoted. So we've not really had a bad season. So as soon as I'd say the two answers are, as soon as the new owners came in,
Yes.
I thought things had changed. And the year we got Luke Williams, and it got to like Christmas, and I think we'd lost one game, and we were flying. So they're the two moments, and we're still getting better every season.
In a journey that's been full of highs, there's also been some lows of it as well. Was there any moments throughout the journey that made you doubt whether Notts County could get promoted back up?
Yeah, definitely. There was a game. It was 5:30 kickoff. It was about 3 or 4 weeks to go. Wrexham won at 3 o'clock. If we won, we went back level on points with them. I remember going down to Meadow Lane. Went 1-0 up. Great. We've been doing that all season. We were in on 100 points, so we're beating nearly everyone. They equalised, and then it was all Notts, non-stop. I think the game finished with Notts having something like 30 shots.
Okay.
And we couldn't score. And like all the fans in the ground are thinking, we need a goal because Wrexham are going to overtake us here. And with about 3 or 4 minutes left, I remember exactly how it happened. Their guy runs forward down the wing. He was a good striker. He used to play for Notts. I can't remember his name right now, but he outmuscled our centre back and put it in the top corner from about 30 yards. And like the whole ground went silent apart from maybe 200 Dagenham and Redbridge fans. And that's when I thought we're not going up. Because bearing in mind, we'd lost in the playoffs 3 years before that. Like, so you're thinking negative thoughts the whole time. That's when I thought it's not going to happen. And I think we went next week and won 4-0. Again, easily. Like that's how good we were. If we lost the game, we won the next game. And then in the playoffs, like we're 2-0 down at half time. I thought there's no way we come back from this. We did. And then we were losing in the playoff final and we still came back. So it was always meant to be that year, but there was definitely points where I thought typical Notts County are not going to go up when we've been this good this year. But we did it in the end, so it's all positive.
After beating Chesterfield at Wembley to get yourself back up to League Two, where Caedwyn Scott scored the winning penalty, what was your first initial reaction?
My mate next to me does the podcast with me, just started crying. Like I've never seen him cry in my life, and I turned around to him and he's crying. And this kid who obviously watches the podcast ran up the steps, and my mate doesn't know this kid, just picked him up in the air, and it's like everyone was going mad, everyone was hugging and everything like that. But Caedwyn Scott, who took the penalty, actually, when we played away at Wrexham about a month before, had a penalty against Ben Foster, who was the Wrexham keeper, with like a minute to go, and he missed the penalty. So when he stepped up to take the penalty, it's either like, is he going to miss again? And like he's costed this season, or is he going to score and make up for missing when we played Wrexham? And like, just it was relief. Although it was a good season, you couldn't really enjoy it because every time we won, Wrexham won by more goals because they were basically funded by two multi-millionaires. Mm-hmm. Every time we did anything, they just did it better. And like we'd win 2-0, they'd win 3 or 4. So to finally do it and know that we weren't going to lose for like 5 years in a row in the playoffs was a great feeling. It was celebration, but it was relief, like probably more relief, I'd say.